Hi, Jane.
Hi, Abu.
What happened out there, man? You seem so tired.
I don't know, man. I just got tired halfway through.
Did you drink enough water before? Did you hydrate?
I think I did, man.
Well, maybe it was your lungs.
Maybe.
Speaking about your lungs, they're such an interesting organ. They do so much for your body, and there's so much to learn about them.
I guess so.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Agile Knowledge, where we will be discussing the thing that makes you go, your lungs. I hope those of you watching this video are breathing right now, and we wouldn't be able to if it weren't for our lungs. As the primary organs of the respiratory system in our body, they're responsible for many of the major functions, including taking in oxygen from the air outside our body and expelling carbon dioxide from inside our body.
In order to understand the physiology of this process, or how it happens, it's important that we understand the anatomy of the lungs, or where this happens.
Form follows function in the body, and it's easy to see that here. Your lungs are giant sacs of extremely flexible tissue designed specifically for its many purposes. Although the lung is involved in many functions, such as filtration of blood, metabolic functions, and acting as a reservoir for blood, its primary function is gas exchange. As per where they are located, your lungs line your thorax, underneath your ribs, and just above your heart.
Each lung has small units called lobes. The right lung has 3 lobes while the left lung has 2. This is because the left lung has a small indent in it, leaving space for the heart.
The lungs are connected to your trachea or windpipe, where the air you breathe enters your body by the left and right bronchi. These bronchi then split into smaller and smaller segments called bronchioles as they travel into the lung. Eventually, these bronchioles become so small that you need the microscope to see them.
At the end of the bronchioles, where they split into their smallest branches, lie the alveoli. It's in these alveoli or air sacs where carbon dioxide and oxygen are exchanged from the blood into the air. These alveoli are made up of a very thin layer of cells called the interstitium. They contain blood capillaries where gases are exchanged. The cells here are especially thin and permeable, making it easier for the lung to perform its function.
Right below the lungs is a thin muscle that helps you breathe called the diaphragm. When this muscle involuntarily contracts, you get the hiccups.
Now that we understand where and what things are in the lungs, we can now move on to how the lungs work. How do you breathe? Well, it's a simple answer. It's all about pressure.
When you breathe in, your diaphragm contracts and moves downwards. This increases the space in the chest cavity into which your lungs expand. Because the space in the lungs expanded, the pressure lowers and air rushes into them because the pressure outside your body is higher.
Now that the air is in your lungs, they travel to the bronchi and the bronchioles, eventually reaching the alveoli. From there, the oxygen in the alveoli passes through the interstitium and the capillaries. At the same time, carbon dioxide, or CO2, moves from the capillaries into the alveoli.
The lungs and respiratory system are very connected to the other organ systems of your body. There's the obvious, the circulatory system and the respiratory system, and there's the not so obvious.
Beginning with the interactions between your respiratory system and circulatory system, this is arguably the most important system relationship going on in your body at any given time. The circulatory and respiratory systems work together to circulate blood and oxygen throughout the body. Air moves in and out of the lungs through the trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles. Blood moves in and out of the lungs through the pulmonary arteries and veins that connect to the heart. The point is, without your lungs producing oxygenated blood for the rest of your body would be useless.
Bless you. The process of sneezing is actually a very interesting response involving both your nervous and respiratory system. The process of sneezing begins with an irritation inside your nose, which is dust or pollen. From there, the tiny nerve endings inside your nose send a message to your brain, which then sends a message to different parts of your body to begin to sneeze.
Responding to the command sent by the brain, your chest muscles compress your lungs, which then sends a burst of air upwards. However, at this point, your body has told your throat to shut tight, which causes the burst of air to come from your nose up to speeds close to 100 miles per hour. Fascinating, isn't it?
I think so.
As you can see, your lungs are a vital part of your body with many different things working together to help you breathe. However, a variety of problems can arise and can be very threatening to your lungs.
One of the most common of these issues is asthma, impacting more than 3 million people in the United States per year. Although the reason why asthma impacts certain people is unknown, it is known that allergens such as pollen and cigarette smoke can cause a person's airways to become inflamed, narrow, and experience difficulty with breathing, chest pain, and frequent coughing.
Another lung infection is pneumonia. With over 3 million cases per year in the United States alone, pneumonia is very common, yet it can become life-threatening. Pneumonia is an infection that inflames the air sacs in one or both lungs. The air sacs may fill with fluid or pus, causing cough with phlegm or pus, fever, chills, and difficulty breathing. Pneumonia is a treatable infection, however, through antibiotics, with some types being preventable by vaccines. It can spread through the air, which makes it dangerous in large crowds.
Smoking is bad for your body and your lungs, but did you know that secondhand tobacco smoke or passive smoking can cause many respiratory problems as well? It can cause problems such as pneumonia or bronchitis, and it can also cause more frequent asthma attacks. It is known that secondhand smoking has caused close to 7,330 deaths from lung cancer and close to 34,000 deaths from heart disease every single year. So next time you see someone smoking, tell them to put it down, because it hurts their lungs and it hurts your lungs as well.
In conclusion, lungs are an amazing organ that help us breathe and do so much more. They're essential in connecting to other organs to help us maintain homeostasis and to maintain a happier, healthier life. Thank you.